The newborn will react to being expelled, to the bombarding stimuli in the new situation that shock him or her by wishing of and fantasizing about returning to the previous stage. On the basis of what have been said, we can define the death instinct and the corresponding mental expression of it, meaning the fantasy of annulling the existing reality, as a fantasy aimed at making reality the absolute opposite of what it actually is. Moreover, since the absolutely opposite condition to the condition in the uterus refers to light, light is the absolute new thing. We can say that this annulment, which makes reality non-existent, this fantasizing about making the opposite, the contrary of what reality is indeed a specific fantasy of making light disappear. It is a fantasy of making it dark. Hence, the newborn's reaction of aggressiveness against his or her being born can be defined as the onset of the death instinct as the mental expression of the disappearance fantasy. In other words, it can be assumed that the infant is born with the disappearance fantasy, the fantasy of making the stimulating environment, the external object, disappear, and of making him or herself disappear as a newborn being, of annulling the external object and him or herself as a living being, by desiring and fantasizing about returning to the darkness and the water of the intrauterine condition. In other words, it can be assumed that the first fantasy of a human being is the disappearance fantasy. Tell me where is fancy bred, or in the heart, or in the head, how begot, how nourished. Reply, reply. It is engendered in the eyes, with gazing fed and fancied eyes, in the cradle where it lies. Let us all ring fancy's knell. I'll begin it. Ding dong bell, ding dong bell.